Welcome to Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, President of Performance Strategies and Diane Bogino Development. Our guest today is Cindee Sapoznik, founder and CEO of 2myPlace. After 34 years in the pharmaceutical industry as a trailblazer for women and one of the first 4 women nationwide to become a pharmaceutical sales rep, Cindee Sapoznik embarked on a successful second career as a certified life coach, helping teenagers, young adults, single moms in shelters, and sex-trafficked, abused, or addicted women find peace in their lives. Cindee does this by listening and creating a safe environment for them to regain self-confidence and self-esteem by teaching them life skills and to refocus on their positive qualities. Cindee also runs mock interview workshops at local job fairs. All of this is accomplished with professionalism, a wild sense of humor, and a true sensitivity to the needs of each of her participants. 2myPlace conducts a program that provides quality services and resources to survivors of trauma with compassion, respect, and care. Cindee, thank you for being on the show today. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you for having me, Diane. You also.
So tell me, Cindee, what inspired you to start 2myPlace?
My childhood. I know that everyone has them. Some are kinder than others. And I think that the lessons that we learn through our childhood of learning how to get through different obstacles is what teaches us and instills our character throughout our life. I know I had abandonment issues, rejection, sadness from personally. My parents got divorced when I was 9. Father remarried mother's best friend. And in the 60s, that was sort of not what you were supposed to do. So I learned something very early on, which was if I would become funny and make my mother laugh, I realized that she wasn't crying because she was very sad and very depressed when all of this happened. So I became funny. I didn't lie, but I learned how to exaggerate my stories. So they were a little bit better than, just, I was always told they were really boring. So I dressed up. The first page, opening page of my website is a statement that I've always believed in, which is be the person that you needed when you were growing up. I did have an older sister, but she was going through her own things, and I did not get the attention that I needed through that relationship. I do have an older brother, and he's wonderful, but I became his caretaker. So as the story unfolded in my house, we all took different roles to be safe, to be strong, to be, to have courage, to do whatever it was that we had to do. So I've taken that on in what I do. I am someone's sister, and I am someone's mother, and I am a friend, and I am a non-judgmental being who will listen and, as much as I can, take what I have and from the people who are in my village have and help that person move forward to a safer, kinder life.
Yeah, so you took a lot on. So tell me, who do you serve at 2myPlace? Who are your clients?
So I became a life coach in 2013, and always my interest was in teenagers, young adults. That's just where I fit. That's where I sort of lost my identity growing up and became who I had to become. So I work with teenagers. I go into middle schools and high schools. I teach in my life skills part. We teach confidence building, self-esteem, how to just navigate through today's population without the use of social media, because that's really made it very difficult for all kids. And as of last year, I have a brand new division of 2myPlace, and it's called Real Beginnings. And I work with women who have been humanly exploited, sex trafficked. I work with women who have been abused, addicted, mostly women, and their families. So I still get to work with the kids. When I worked at a shelter for single moms and their kids for 5 years, I volunteered. And I created a teen program. And the program was to just make them feel safe, because what the mothers were going through, they were putting on their teenage kids to, will you take care of the rest of the kids because I'm really burdened by this. So then the teenager doesn't get to go to school and early for help or stay late for any of the other activities. They have to come home and take care of their siblings. And I realized that there was an emptiness for all of these kids, and they needed someone to just be their friend, take their hand, tell them they don't have to go to work when they're 13 years old. So fast forward, 5 years ago, I started volunteering at Wellspring Living, and that is a rehab it's a residential home for young ladies who have been sex trafficked. Some are court ordered there, some go on their own. And I am, as I said, a life coach. I get in touch with these girls once a week, ladies, sorry. I get in touch with them once a week, and we have a group. I do a meditation with them. I sort of just want to get them comfortable and teach them how to like themselves again. They're all coming out of trauma. And so there are therapists there are psychiatrists, psychologists at the team at this house. But my job is to just show them they need to be confident about who they are. So one of the projects that I always do is I have them get an index card, and we write down the words, I am. And they can only say positive things about themselves. Now, you can imagine this is very difficult for a lot of the women who just came basically, from horrendous types of situations. And they don't know anything good about themselves. And so I have the rest of the ladies in the group start telling them, you're funny, you're kind, you're responsible, you're a survivor. And I'm writing these things down as they are saying them and giving, sharing all what they feel about the other ladies. And then I have that person stand up and repeat and read off what all the ladies have said to them. A lot of times they really can't even get through it. Everybody ends up crying, but I think that's the best release in the world, because you have to know who you are in order to cut away from and get away from who you were. And, you have to move forward. And that's my thing. I don't deal with when you were 4 years old, I'm sorry this happened to you. That's the therapy world. I don't do that at all. As a life coach, I figure out where they are and what their dreams are, what their goals are, and I help take them to where they need to be.
Right. Yeah, that self-awareness is really important. So tell me, Cindee, do you think that the general public is aware of the magnitude of this issue that you deal with every day?
Not at all. Love that question, though. I just sat in on an international lecture, and everyone always thinks when you speak to them here, they think that sex trafficking, human exploitation, that's in other countries. No, it's right here. It's next door. There are so many organizations that are now teaching awareness to kids of when you're walking home from school, for instance. Look around, be aware of everything that's going on. Most of them, they used to be in these white vans, traffickers, as we were calling them, and they probably changed the color because it got so well known. But
Wow.
they would follow school buses and wait to see who was walking home by themselves. They will sit in parking lots of malls and wait to see who's going to their car by themselves. There are a couple of movies out that just show how these predators get these kids. Average age of kids being taken is 11, well, boys are 11 to 15 years old, and girls are 12 to 19. And a lot of this goes hand in hand with if they were abused in the household growing up, they're a lot more vulnerable to the attraction of this. You know, somebody wants me, somebody likes me, somebody thinks I'm pretty. Photography groups, modeling agencies, film industry, bowling alleys, wherever kids are, they need to be aware of who may be watching them.
Cindee, I understand you have a new program. Tell our viewers about that.
Yes, I do. It's called Real Beginnings. And from volunteering my time with the ladies at the rehab and the residential home, I realized that when they had graduated, which was usually in about 18 months, and they had gotten a job and had gone to the career academy associated with it, they were told you have 2 weeks to move out. So the one woman that I was mentoring, that I still am, who is one of my dearest people in the world, she came to me and she said, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. You know, where am I moving to? How am I doing this? When do I get my kids back? So there was no transitional piece for any of the women coming out of any of the houses. There are several houses in Atlanta. So I called in my people, my village, which I keep referring to because they are quite amazing. And we got her an apartment, a government subsidized apartment. She got a car through one of the community charities. We then went after medical and dental and psychological places for her and her kids to go. And then she got her kids back. Now, you can really understand how difficult it is. First of all, she had been in that life from when she was 8.5 years old. Her mother had put her out on the street for her to get drug money. And then this woman, she was in life. She became pregnant when she was 12. She had an abortion. She was pregnant again at 16. And then, you know, as her life went on, she stayed in that world. The world of trafficking goes hand in hand with drug addiction and abuse. And, you know, you can get someone, pull someone out from where they are, but then they're going to have to deal with whatever addiction they have. So it all sort of, you know, folds into one another. So she got her kids back, and as you may realize and understand, they had been abused. They had been extremely affected from not having a mother for so many years. They were living with a grandmother. And I kept saying to her when she was at the residential house, stop wanting your kids back. You know, stop. You're going to get what you wish for. And I mean, it's hard to raise kids in this world without having all of these added issues. So she got her kids back. They're all in therapy. She's making it. She is also seeing a trauma-informed therapist. All 3 kids are in therapy. And she is, as she calls it, overcoming. So Real Beginnings is the transitional piece to take these women and families from their rehabilitation, from their, trying to get their lives back on track, to their new life, and which is the real beginnings of where do I go, what do I do, how do I get a car. So part of To My Place also has programs, not just in confidence coaching and self-esteem and for the whole family, but we have, depending on what the kids need, because a lot of kids need to draw or do art in order to get them to emote, or dance, or they need stress release, or yoga, nutrition, exercise. To My Place has all of these people who we call in. They're not sitting and waiting for everyone to come in, but we call them in when we need them so that we can help the family open and heal and move forward.
Great. And not only do you have a new program, you also have a new board. So tell me about that.
I was thinking about my board over this weekend, and it's an amazing group of people, I must say, first of all. These are all people that I know, people that I've worked with, friends who I reached out to ask if they would be involved. I didn't expect everyone to say yes. I was excited because I was told I had to have an odd number. So I was excited when 3 people said yes. But everyone that I asked is so uniquely talented. And they all said yes. So we have a board of 11, and some of the characteristics that they have are that they are extremely compassionate and caring and resourceful. I wrote things down because it touched me, because as I was thinking of each member on the board, and they all basically share the same qualities. They're generous, they're encouraging, they're unselfish, and they have such integrity and a desire to help.
Yes. Yeah, I know a few of them, and you're absolutely right. And I know that some of them have experience, unfortunately, with this issue as well. So,
Yes.
Cindee, going forward, tell our viewers, what events do you offer to the public, or how can the public get involved with To My Place?
Okay. So we just updated our website and are still working on that donate button.
That's important.
However, we are working with a producer in California to, we're going to have a film and a documentary, and we are also going to do virtual reality videos for education for the schools. They will be split into 4 groups. And we are right now asking for donations for that. But the 4 groups will be elementary school. The average age of kids being abused is 8.5 years old, in the house. And you don't know who to report it to or what to say, and everyone is just told to be quiet. So we will have, hopefully animated, we're working on that, a film for elementary kids, a Jeopardy game, for instance. There is an organization locally who they teach kids how to protect themselves against the predators. So they go into the elementary schools and teach kids how to kick, bite, hit, run, scream, in order to protect themselves, and how to report it so that you be believed and trusted. The second age is middle school, and then high school, and young adults. That's second, third. And then the 4th group will be to medical professionals, police, teachers, parents, emergency room, this will be of how to recognize it, how not to just take care of the victim, but to get the abuser out of the house also, and what to look for. So then we're hoping to have the high school and young adults trained to teach the middle school kids. So we plan to have 4 different virtual reality films. And one of the women who was doing hair and makeup for the film that we are working on, she is a hairstylist, and she knew that when she came here that she fit, and this was her place to be and reason to be. And she has just gone forward with, she's having a cut-a-thon August 2nd, and with all donations going to 2myPlace. So we need marketing people. I would love marketing people to come and do some pro bono stuff for us, because I, as you can see, am one of the elderly. And as I can, you know, get on and do my Zoom meetings, which are sometimes challenging, we still need somebody to do that type of thing. And then once we're up and running, we are applying for grants, federal and state grants, to support our program, because it all is about educating and opportunity and awareness.
Absolutely. Well, Cindee, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and telling our viewers about 2myPlace. And I certainly appreciate the work you do, because, as you know, I went through abusive childhood as well. So the work that you do is important, and the general public does need to know more and more about it. So wish you all the luck in the world, and thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Diane. Thanks a lot.
We've been speaking with Cindee Sapoznik, founder and CEO of 2myPlace. Thank you for watching Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, bringing you business ideas you can bank on.